I want to say one thing to the American people.
Monica Lewinsky is now talking in a tell-all article.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Finally breaking her silence.
These allegations are false.
I engaged in conduct that was wrong.
A flurry of salaciousness.
Inappropriate, intimate contact.
There were moments that were crushing and damaging.
It's unfortunate and wrong conduct.
Monica Lewinsky is now speaking out after a decade of near silence.
But I knew that the minute there was no longer any contact, she would talk about this. She would have to. She couldn't help it.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't angry some days.
This is a story about how you survive deep humiliation.
Oh, there was that beret. Tonight, the nation's most infamous mistress is out of hiding and spilling her guts. Again, Monica Lewinsky wants to, quote, burn the beret and bury the blue dress. Really? She's coming clean with an explosive new tell-all article in Vanity Fair. 16 long years ago, the then White House intern had an Oval Office romp with the then president. Bill Clinton, that turned Washington upside down, brought us some unforgettable moments like this.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is. If is means is and never has been, that's one thing. If it means there is none, that was a completely true statement.
A classic gem that went down in history. In this new article, Monica Lewinsky writes, I myself deeply regret what happened between me and President Clinton. Let me say it again. I myself deeply regret what happened. Sure, my boss took advantage of me, but I will always remain firm. It was a consensual relationship. So she's owning that. Give her props for that. Lewinsky now says she's ready to give her past a purpose by helping other people who have suffered global humiliation. She's been quiet for a decade. Why now? She suggests she wants to leave the scandal behind, but this article puts her right back on the front page. So are her intentions pure? Purely to help other humiliated people? Or, John Murray, editor-in-chief, alwaysalist.com, is this just a desperate grab for another 15 minutes of fame and maybe a payday down the road?
Well, no, Jane, because this woman doesn't need 15 minutes of fame. She has one of the most famous names in history, and she's lived in obscurity for a decade. And if it was about money, she could have made money 10 years ago. I mean, she turned down a $10 million book deal. She could have told a tell-all. She could have put out a line of blue dresses. She could have put out a line of lipstick. Because remember, the lipstick that she wore during the Barbara Walters interview sold out like crazy. She could have endorsed Cuban cigars, for God's sakes, if it was about money. But this woman wants to take ownership of her past and help other people. And in the age of the internet where people are killing themselves over scandals, she might actually be doing a lot of good.
All right, so you think her motives are pure. All right.